Hello, and welcome back to another Chris McPherson Show World Cup Daily for the 18th of February. And we are rolling into the business end of the T20 World Cup on the cusp of the Super 8s. And we will say goodbye to a handful of teams. 12 in total will bow out leading in. And 7 of the 8 spots in those Super 8s are locked in. We've already seen a major name knocked out overnight. Australia are gone. They will not progress to the Super 8s, and we'll debrief the how and the why of that shortly. If you are enjoying these daily cricket hits, then make sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit like on the video. Get involved in the comments as well, and give it a share. It certainly helps the channel to grow, and that is our goal. The more it grows, the more content we can provide for you. And of course, if you want to see those other snippets along there and keep up to date in between episodes, make sure to head over to our socials. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, X, and Facebook. At The Chris Mack Show is where you'll find us. But let's rip into the recaps, starting with Canada up against New Zealand. And this had some upset energy early, but New Zealand shut the door, booking their Super 8 spot. New Zealand winning this one by 8 wickets, chasing down the target of 174. Yuvraj Samara was the headline despite the loss, 110 off 65, a record ton for an associate versus a full member at this tournament. He was controlled early and then absolutely took on the game through the middle overs, a wonderful solo innings that set the backbone of Canada's 173 for 4. Dilpreet Bajwa played the support role with 36, but it was absolutely the Samra show. New Zealand's bowling attack lacked some bite without Lockie Ferguson and Mitch Santner, and Samra absolutely made them pay. But for Canada, their big issue, they left runs and chances on the field. Once it got out there with the ball, a couple of sloppy moments early, some extras, some overthrows, and some casual work around the boundary kept New Zealand ahead of the run rate even when they lost those early wickets. Speaking of those early wickets, Tim Seifert and Finn Allen were both gone inside the first 4 overs, and Canada did their part to set the platform but couldn't leverage and capitalise that. But the talking point was the match being stolen away by the Kiwi stars. Glenn Phillips, 76 off 36 not out, and Rachin Ravindra, a little more composed, 59 off 39 not out. A combined 146 off 73 balls, an absolute heist here for New Zealand. Phillips targeted the spin, especially taking on Saad bin Zafar and Ansh Patel, and Canada was suddenly defending a number that didn't look nearly big enough. The takeaways from this, Canada can generally compete, but you cannot carry fielding and discipline errors against a finishing pair like Phillips and Ravindra. The good news for Kiwis, they've booked their spot to the Super 8. Canada, they've wrapped theirs. They won't proceed, but we will head on to the next of the matches, Ireland and Zimbabwe, and this one was abandoned with no toss, seeing Zimbabwe qualify for the Super 8s. As Homer Simpson once said, the 2 sweetest words in the English language, default. Rain does what rain does, abandoned without a ball being bowled, and that single point was all Zimbabwe needed. They head into the Super 8 stage, and it is a massive milestone, especially when you consider not only is it the first time they've progressed to this phase, but they didn't even qualify for the T20 World Cup in 2024, the last edition. So a huge turnaround of fortunes for Zimbabwe, but it underlines the big challenge in Zimbabwean cricket, inconsistency. The context, Zimbabwe had already done the damage, wins over Oman and that huge heist over Australia. Today was simply about avoiding disaster. They needed 1 point from it or 2. A win would have absolutely locked them in, but the washout does the trick. The Super 8 group for them, though, it is going to be absolutely stacked because of these pre-seedings. They will go up against India, the West Indies, and South Africa. That's a serious test, but they've earned the right to be there. And listening to their captain, Sikandar Raza, they are absolutely not resigned to just making up the numbers. So we look forward to hopefully seeing what they can conjure in those Super 8 stages as that comes on. The last game overnight, Nepal versus Scotland, and Nepal finished their tournament with an absolute bang. A 12-year wait for their 3rd T20 Cup win is finally over. They got it done with 7 wickets to spare. Scotland, look, they batted well in patches. Michael Jones led with 71, and Scotland were flying early. But the back half, it's fair to say, it got messy. Wickets at the wrong time, and the finish never fully accelerated, never fully landed. They couldn't capitalise. For Nepal, the key was swing with the ball. Sompal Kami produced a momentum spell and helped drag Scotland back from a position where they had early control. In the Nepalese chase, There was a strong platform early, but then a little mid-overs wobble. Scotland's veteran all-rounder Michael Leask ripped through with 3 for 30, and suddenly Nepal were under real pressure of chasing down the 171 required. And then enter the closer, Dipendra Singh Aire. Finished it off with 50 not out from 23 deliveries, pure intent, no hesitation from ball one. Nepal needed 71 off 36 at one point, and he basically turned it into a procession. Nepal's talent is real, and when Aire gets a chase like that in his sights, it gets loud very quickly. He's certainly a name to watch. Plenty of capability, plenty of execution. Keep an ear on Dipendra Singh Aire. Before we move on to the previews of today's games, there is some news around the cricket world. The Caribbean Premier League is going to expand. For the first time in the competition's history, it will go to a 7-team competition with the Jamaican franchise coming back to the CPL, which is huge news for the competition. The former powerhouse Jamaica Tallawahs have been out of action for the last 2 seasons, having transitioned to Antigua and Barbuda Falcons. But Kingsman Sports Enterprise, an American group with growing cricket investments and some investment from Pakistan, will bring back a Jamaican team, a yet-to-be-named Jamaican team, to be the 7th team in the CPL. That new team name not confirmed yet, but Sabina Park will host 4 matches, with the CPL returning to Jamaica for the first time since pre-COVID in 2019. So looking forward to seeing this expanded CPL. Remembering the CPL will kick off in early August and run through to a final on September 21. So we look forward to the new name for Jamaica's team, and also look forward to seeing them and the other 6 teams in action in August and September. But we move on now to the previews, and we start with South Africa up against the United Arab Emirates. The good news for South Africa, they're already through to the Super 8s. The big question is, can they stay perfect, and do they rotate and get match minutes into some other players? Aiden Markram's group absolutely has momentum and look built for Super 8 conditions. They even seem like they may be one of the only sides who can take it to the hosts in India. The subplot, Kagiso Rabada has had probably, it's fair to say, a quiet tournament by his standards. This is a prime game for someone like Kagiso to step up, warm the engine, and get firing leading into the Super 8s. For the UAE, they've shown fight, especially through captain Mohammad Wasim, Alishan Sharifu, and Sohab Khan. But they'll need a near-perfect day and hope that the South Africans are a little off their game. But funny things happen in T20 cricket. The conditions, it's going to be a day game being the early match. The ball is likely to grip. Scoring can be tough if you can't get set batters in early. South Africa will head in as very warm favourites for this one. But can the UAE just throw that wild spanner in the works? Speaking of spanners in the works, Namibia up against Pakistan. Well, for Pakistan, they'll hope there's no spanners in the works. Their mission is simple. Do not lose. A win gets them through. If Namibia pull an upset, the ripple effect is massive. Pakistan will risk a 3rd consecutive early exit, and it potentially opens the door for others like the US. Pakistan are under pressure after that heavy loss to India. It did expose their top order fragility and their bowling plan, probably not having a plan B or plan C as required. The watch points, Sayam Ayub is the big one. His talent is undeniable, but he hasn't produced that World Cup innings just yet. Namibia will be free. They'll know no pressure on their shoulders, absolutely, and that can be dangerous. Namibia's best path, if they're somehow to pull off the upset, an explosive power play getting rolling early, scoreboard pressure, then make it a scrap. Loreen Steenkamp, the name to watch. He will be the tone setter, and if he fires, Pakistan could be very nervy. For Pakistan, changes might be looming, including serious questions around the likes of Shaheen Shah Afridi and Babar Azam. 2 absolute locks previously. These 2 are well out of form and need to find something if they are to remain in the lineup. In terms of the pitch, this one's back to the Sinhalese Sports Club. The SSC surface is generally a bit more seam-friendly than Premadasa, so watch for a bit of action for the pace bowlers on this one. And last but not least, India taking on the Netherlands. India's vibe now is distraction handle, qualification secured, time to unleash. Ahmedabad at night can be a runway. Big totals should be on. Abhishek Sharma needs to capitalise. He's had a rough start, ducks and disruptions. This is a perfect landscape for him to get it right. The Netherlands, well, the Dutch, they won't be pushovers. They've shown they can compete, and they'll want to prove they're more than just a stepping stone for India's progression to the Super 8s. Watch the matchup. Abhishek Sharma taking on Aryan Dutt early on. It could certainly set the tone. India, for selections, don't be surprised if Arshdeep Singh comes back in on the quicker surface. But again, not really seeing too many paths to a Netherlands victory. India should get this one done and secure another win as they progress. Well, there it is, your recaps, previews, and the latest from the cricket world. A big thank you for tuning in. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel, hit like on the video, and throw us a comment. And of course, share it with your cricket-loving mates. For all your short clips and extra content in between, find us on your social media platform of choice at The Chris Mack Show. But until next time, we're signing out here on your home of the black and white of sports. No grey opinions, The Chris McPherson Show.